BBC News with Jonathan Izard. The left-wing leader of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, has been re-elected for a fourth term as president. He won 54% of the vote, finishing 10 points ahead of his rival Enrique Capriles. Mr. Chavez told cheering supporters that Venezuela would continue its march towards democratic socialism. A United States congressional committee has called for the Chinese telecoms equipment giants Huawei and ZTE to be banned from the American market. A draft of a report by the House Intelligence Committee says they cannot be trusted to be free of Chinese state influence and so pose a security threat to the US. The World Bank has lowered its economic growth forecast for China, blaming a weakening of exports and domestic demand. It expects China's economy to grow by 7.7% this year. Police in the Maldives have arrested the former President Mohamed Nasheed on a remote island after he failed to appear in court on charges of abuse of power. Last week he fled the capital Male, saying the case against him was politically motivated. The South Korean government has declared a special disaster zone in an area that suffered a toxic chemical leak last month. More than 3,000 people were reported to have sought treatment after 8 tons of hydrofluoric acid spilled from a tanker near the city of Gumi. The first privately backed supply mission to the International Space Station has begun, with the launch of a rocket from Cape Canaveral in Florida. It's taking 400 kilos of food, clothes and experiments to the 3 astronauts on board. A new permanent bailout fund for the Eurozone will come into force later today. The European Stability Mechanism is designed to support faltering economies and banks within the single currency. And Ivory Coast is reopening its land and sea borders with Ghana today. They've been closed for more than 2 weeks after a series of attacks on police and army bases in Ivory Coast. The Ivorian Defence Minister said both countries had reinforced their frontiers. BBC News.